we communicate throughout the week. We talk about setups and ideas and philosophies, and that'll carry to Sunday as well.
I know that we did it then, and we can do it now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cup Connection. I'm Mike Massaro, and we've got a very special championship edition of the show, and we're fortunate enough to have a couple of the Championship 4 contenders. We begin with William Byron. William, thanks for being with us today. I know it's been a really busy week so far, so we do appreciate this, but welcome back to the show. Last time we had you on here, you went out and won the very next week, so maybe that bodes well for you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We're excited for this weekend. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's a long weekend. Got to get through practice and qualifying, but I'm excited for it.
You know, this is your first experience in the Cup Series in the Championship 4. What's this like for you? I know there's a ton of pressure, I would imagine, but what's it like for you?
It's definitely different than what I've experienced in the past. I mean, every other year in the Cup Series, I've just been this has just been the final race and just trying to finish the season strong for your team. But this one definitely carries a lot of meaning, and we're as prepared, I think, as we can be. So we're just excited to get on the racetrack and see what our car handles like and what problems we have to deal with. But I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely it's kind of that elusive opportunity that everyone wants to get.
So how does this compare to what you went through in the Xfinity Series back in 2017?
I think it's really similar. I lean on that experience a lot because I feel like that championship race and the way I felt and the way I performed was what I'll need on Sunday. So definitely the Cup Series brings a lot of new challenges and a lot of different things to expect, but we're racing against 3 other great competitors, so we just have to put everything out there.
This may be your first experience in the Championship 4 finale as one of the contenders, but you're surrounded by a ton of really good resources. I think about Hendrick Motorsports, and I know Jeff Gordon is there, Chad Knaus is there. I mean, these are guys who know what it's like to win a championship. They know how to win a championship. How much have you found yourself leaning on them?
Quite a bit. I mean, I think we all talk quite a bit during the week through our competition meetings and talk about what to expect in the race. So those guys are all in our corner to ask advice and information from. So it's going to be fun to lean on them throughout the weekend too, because they'll be here all weekend and be able to lean on them. So we have a lot of great resources at Hendrick Motorsports, and a lot of it is our people. And I'm excited to get to the racetrack with them this weekend and see how it all goes.
Do you feel more comfortable going to Jeff or Chad, or is there somebody else there that's your go-to person for advice?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say honestly both of them. I mean, Jeff Andrews and Chad Knaus, both I'm really close to. So Jeff Andrews spends a lot of time in our hauler during the weekends, so definitely a sounding board for information and advice. And obviously my crew chief, we go and talk quite a bit during the weekend. So we'll stay close in communication all weekend.
So I know that you had looked up to Jimmy Johnson for quite a bit of your developmental years. I mean, it was a guy that you admired, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you been able to kind of maybe study the way he approached these races? Because, he didn't win all of them, but he won quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And certainly knows how to go about this particular race, this scenario. Have you studied at all how he went about it?
I always study Jimmy and just his ability to be unflappable in pressure situations, and I always admire that because he was just so calm under pressure. And I think I modeled myself off of him because of what I watched as a young kid, and then watching him in 2016 when I was in the Truck Series, watching him win that championship, how he got to the end of the race and was able to close the deal. So it definitely is something that I look back on and try to get inspiration from.
When you say model yourself after him, in what ways? His style on the racetrack, or is there something else?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I feel like his style on the track, he was really clean driver, but having raced with Jimmy, and probably what you maybe don't notice on TV as much as how aggressive he is. So I feel like he was a very aggressive driver, but very clean, and and then off the racetrack, just his ability to handle pressure and handle things professionally, and he was just the ultimate professional.
Yeah, unflappable, I think, was the word you used, and I can't think of a better one. I mean, he didn't seem to show that he felt the pressure ever, and he came out on top more often than not. I'm curious, when you look at the championship four, Hendrick Motorsports is the only organization that has two cars in the field, right? So, or at least in the championship four. How does that change the dynamic of the way you can attack this race?
I don't know if it changes a lot. I mean, I feel like we've got a 50% chance to win. Mr. H does, and Hendrick Motorsports does. So that's a nice feeling. And then I just think, honestly, we approach it very similar as we do every race. We communicate throughout the week. We talk about setups and ideas and philosophies, and that'll carry to Sunday as well. So I feel like that's probably the biggest thing is we always communicate, and Kyle and I always race well. So I don't think it'll change anything there.
So still wide open communication throughout the course of the week between you and Kyle and the 5 team?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely don't withhold anything. I mean, our cars are right next to each other on the setup plate, so it's pretty easy to tell what's going on there.
All right. Before I let you go, we look at history, and it would seem, it's not technically necessary, but it would seem that winning this race is the only way you end up winning the championship. Do you feel like this is a must-win situation?
I do. I mean, I think that you've got to get to that point by the end of the race. It's going to be between the 4 of you guys, and surely if you're not the one winning the race, one of the other 3 is going to be out there competing for the win. So I do think it's a must-win. It always has been, and you approach the weekend as just trying to go out there, be the best you can, and put your car in the best position it can be.
All right. 6 wins on the season. A lot of people would make you the favorite. What do you think?
I think we're one of. I think we haven't had the strongest playoffs. We haven't led a bunch of laps in the playoffs, but we've been really strong throughout the whole year. And hopefully this weekend is our peak of the playoffs yet.
And you won at Phoenix in the spring. I mean, can we expect you to duplicate that?
It'd be great. It'd be really nice to get another Phoenix win. And obviously what that would mean.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck. William, thank you for being with us, and we hope to talk to you again sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Continuing now with our Championship 4 edition of Cup Connection, we welcome Kyle Larson to the show. And Kyle, thanks for finding some time for us today. I know it's been a busy week already.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on your show.
Hey, I look at your playoff performance. It's been really, really strong. A couple of wins just in the playoffs alone. Do you feel like you're peaking at the perfect time?
I don't know. I think our speed has been, similar throughout the whole season. Just, maybe executing a little bit better. We had a couple of hiccups for sure in the playoffs, with Texas and then Homestead. But outside of those two, we've done a really good job. So, hopefully that'll carry over into this weekend's race, and we can take away our second championship. That's obviously the goal, but understand that it's going to be extremely tough. All 4 of us are very equal, and I think the best team will for sure win.
You talk about your second championship. When you look at your competition, you're the only one who has a Cup Series championship. What's the value of having the experience in this situation, whereas those guys do not?
I don't really think it matters at all. I would love to think that it matters, but I just don't. I think the sport is so different than when I won the championship a couple seasons ago. The race cars are different, restarts are different, pit stops. Every little thing about our sport is different. So the only thing that I guess I could take away from it is that I know that we did it then and we can do it now. But yeah, outside of that, it doesn't make a difference, whether you've been in the Final Four before or not. I think it's still a race. We're gonna go out there and all try and win like we would on any weekend.
How about mentally? I mean, I would imagine first time around, there's some adrenaline. I'm sure there still is, but are you any more relaxed this time than you were, say, in 2021?
I don't know. I feel like I'm a fairly relaxed person in general. So I don't remember being not relaxed then. I think when it got to Sunday, a couple years ago, and got to like driver intros, that's when it really kind of hit me on how big of an opportunity this is in front of me. And I remember, the emotions and all that, during driver intros and everything leading up to the race. So I'm sure that'll creep in again on Sunday. But as of right now, I'm just really excited to kind of get in the car tomorrow and get seeing kind of how our race car is.
All right, so you were locked in. You were the first one of the 4 locked in. What have you been able to do maybe that the others weren't able to do in the past 2 weeks that maybe help prepare for this?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, in preparation, probably just, a little bit more time spent watching video and looking at data and things, looking at past notes. I'm not a part of the build of the race car or anything like that, but I imagine, maybe just that extra little bit of time, spent on the Phoenix car will hopefully help. But they still had to build a car for Martinsville and all that and Homestead. So that obviously takes a lot of focus as well. So I think there's less of an advantage than what media makes it out to be. But I would love to win the first race of the round of 8 every year.
All right, it all matters what you do on Sunday. It doesn't matter what you did the last couple of weeks. You're right. So we think back to the spring, though. Spring, you had a great race car, led over 200 laps. You were on the pole. Can you come back with the same race car, the same setup, or things just evolved so much over the last several months?
Things evolve a lot. It's going to be hotter this weekend than it was in the spring. We have a new tire compared to what we had in the spring. So it'll be totally different. But, I hope that our team has done a good job preparing for it and can go out there and, bring another fast car to the track and one that's got a lot of grip and can qualify well and still have that long run speed also. So again, I can't read the future though. So I don't know until I get in the car tomorrow evening and see how it is.
All right. What about your competition? How do you look at them?
Yeah, I mean, they're all tough competitors. I feel like we're all pretty equal. So, I think Ryan Blaney and his performance here the last, couple months, him and his team have found some speed, and I think they could be the ones to be beat. The ones to beat are probably them. I think Phoenix is probably his best track. So I look at Ryan as being really tough. But like I said, we're all pretty equal, and you can make a case for all 4 of us on why, we'll win the championship. So that's the cool thing about our sport, I think, is the depth of competition and, how the unknown of who's going to win a race or who's going to win the championship, I think, is really cool.
All right, we just had your teammate, William Byron, on with us, and I'm going to ask you a couple of the same questions I asked him. First one is the dynamic of the Championship 4. You look at it, 2 of the cars are Hendrick cars. How does that impact this race, knowing that you've got a teammate that you have to not only beat, but maybe also work with to win this championship?
I think it's good, for to give Rick, 50-50 shot of winning another championship. I think it's great. I think we also, William and I are great teammates together. I think, we work really closely. I feel like our driving styles are very similar. I feel like we communicate similarly, in what we feel in the race car is similar as well. So, I think we will continue to work together closely this week, with our post-practice debriefs and all of that. I think you can't change what got you to this point in the communication that got you to this point. So, I know we'll work well together and we'll race well together on the racetrack also.
All right. Now, finally, just to wrap this up, historically speaking, the guy who's won the championship has also won the race. Doesn't necessarily need to happen, but it has. Do you feel like this is a must-win situation?
History would show that it is, for sure, but you also know that it's not. But I think when you look at the 4 of us in the round of, or the final 4, we all could win this race. So I think you definitely, in that aspect, you view it as, yes, a must win. So we'll give it our best effort and hopefully the cards fall our way and we can get that second championship.
All right, before we let you go, what would a second championship mean to you?
It would mean a lot. I think, there's only been, 17 guys, I think I read, that have won more than one Cup Series championship, and we're in year 75. So, it would be pretty awesome. And, but I don't know. I don't really want to think too far ahead of myself and what that feeling might be. I just want to go out there and try to execute a good weekend and let everything take care of itself.
All right, let me just talk to our audience real quick. Just want to thank all the folks out there who have watched Cup Connection throughout the course of the season. Please, if you enjoy what we do, hit like, maybe hit subscribe, and look back at some of our archives. We also spoke with the other 2 members of the Championship 4, Ryan Blaney and Christopher Bell, earlier in the year. Kyle, thanks for being with us. I know you've got a really busy weekend, a lot of excitement ahead. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.